Good morning. We'd like to welcome everybody. Our first episode 2024 podcast. This is Vernon with Harpoon Pest Solutions. First time back with you after a long time. Looking forward to giving you many more episodes of this as we talk about different pest issues with our neighbors, our customers are dealing with, and how to prevent these problems. But first thing is I want to invite a new partner of Harpoon Pest Solutions. Keith is with us. Keith, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, out there in internet land. My name is Keith Greenwich. 50 years old. Been in the industry. This is my 17th year. Kind of fell in the industry due to layoffs, but I believe pest control is one of the best kept secrets out here. 17 years. I'm still learning, still growing, but very interesting field to be in. So happy to be here at Harpoon to help and to serve people, and just glad to be here.
Happy to have you, man. We look forward to working with you. We got new teammates, new technicians, just a more organized way of doing things. And sometimes you got to take a step back and correct things and make adjustments. But that's the key with any business, right?
Definitely
making adjustments. So, but yeah, this first episode, we're in January 2024, and so we know it's winter time, and we're looking forward to helping people with their mice issues this winter. And it's awesome because Keith, you're from Delaware. I'm from Philly. I live out here in Aston right now. Our main office is in Aston, PA still. But born and raised in Philadelphia, so we have different issues of the mice than you do in Delaware. Now, this office particularly is having the same type of mouse problem that Delaware had. But before we reiterate what's going on in Philadelphia, Keith, why don't you break down Delaware County, the Boothwyn area, what kind of issues and the type of mouse that they're dealing with?
So yeah, mice, wintertime, people are very familiar with mice this time of year. It's been a very mild winter so far as snow on the ground, but today is a chilly day. We're in the 20s, but out in Delaware, more of in certain areas, rural areas, wooded areas, things of that nature. So we see a lot of the house mouse, deer mouse, so to speak. But some of the goals today that I just wanted to get across to our viewing audiences, kind of what to look for mice in your house. Mice can be undetectable if you don't know what you're looking for. And a lot of times when the numbers of mice reach a certain level in your house, that's when you're like, wow, I didn't know I had a problem. But just giving you some tips and things to look out for having rodent issues in the house. I guess the number one thing people think of when it comes to mice are droppings. That's a tell sign. If you see droppings on your kitchen counter or in the basement, a lot of times it draws a red flag to say, hey, there may be an issue. So not only droppings, rodents like humans will urinate more than we defecate. So sometimes you're not seeing the urine droppings with the naked eye. They can be hard to. I like to turn lights out and use a black light. Really brings them to light, so to speak, in certain areas. But areas to look out for. Certainly mice this time of year, they want warmth. They're going to come into the home through holes as small as a dime size hole. So coming in, they're going to be looking for warmth. There's a couple spots where we know they go to attic spaces. They love insulation. And a lot of times we get the calls and I'm hearing something in my attic. Sounds bigger than a mouse. Yeah. And we get that all the time. And then, of course, in the kitchen or sometimes in basements, if you have refrigerators or freezers, that motor is going to be nice and warm. They'll go there. We know they visit there. So sometimes just have a flashlight with you and look at those areas, and you're looking for droppings. You may look for, if it's in the attic, little holes they'll drill into insulation and nest in there. So those are the things that when I go out and do inspections, I'm looking at those areas and looking for droppings, looking for urine, things of that nature. So in Delaware, and it spills over into your territory as well, but in Delaware, certain mice like certain things. So three things I try to do when it comes to rodents. I try to exclude them, trap them, bait them. And not in any particular order, but those are the three things I'm looking to do.
Now, just for the people that don't know, just break down that word exclude.
Exclude is basically find out where they're getting in the home and sealing it up. Either with, there's all kinds of materials. Sometimes you may have to use rocks if they're drilling low going into the foundation. Sometimes you use a mesh material. We use a lot of building grade material, so it doesn't break down over time. So when we want to exclude things, we want it to last. And then of course, trapping, whether it be old fashioned snap traps, whether it be glue traps, they work as well. Yeah. And then bait. Bait is something that I find in particular areas, different mice like different bait. Yeah. So in Delaware, we use a lot of we call the green block, hard block. I'm not sure. Well, you can speak more to the Philadelphia area, what type of bait they use, but yeah.
It's an analogy. You can use it this way. I like to fish. I like to go fishing. Don't fish enough, but I love fishing. Mm-hmm. So when we go, whether we go to Delaware, Maryland, Jersey, most times you'll go to the local bait and tackle shop to buy your bait. I'm not going to go around the corner from my home and buy the bait. I'm going to go to the local shop where we're fishing. And the reason why is because you're asking them, what do the fish around here eat? Mm-hmm. Whether it's shrimp, whether it's squid, whatever. And they'll tell you, we got bass in this water. We got porgies in this water, whatever. And they'll give you whatever that the fish like so that you can be more successful in the baiting and in catching a fish. Same thing with rodents. Same thing with wildlife. Depending on where you live, they like a certain bait. It's just what it is. Same thing with the fish. They like a certain bait. So in Philadelphia, as you was talking about, it's a soft bait. Out here in the areas, it's a hard bait. And we found that in this area, and that's why people call local pest control companies, because they know what wildlife want, what the wildlife in the area, the mice, whatever it is, they know what the bait they require. And so they find that they're more successful. They find that there's less trips needed to get it under control. So that's kind of the best way I can explain it. Anything you want to add to that?
No, well said. First of all, mice can be a nuisance pest. There's a word they use is commensal, meaning that they're so used to us. And I say this because the misnomer is, they don't like our smell and things of that nature. We know mice, they don't see well, but their hearing and their smell is impeccable. They can smell the sugar in a coffee. That's how well they smell. So if mice are used to us, just throwing out some facts, in the wild, in nature, mice can live about 12 months, about a year in the wild. When they're inside, their lifespan expands you're talking 2 years, 3 years. They'll live because the conditions are right. Whatever food they need is right there. They're nice and warm. So we don't want anyone in your house that's not paying you rent. So we're trying to get them out. And then the other misnomer that I like to speak on when it comes to bait, a lot of people think that when mice feed, they're going to go out and look for water. That's not true. Mice actually get enough water from what they eat, whether it be bait, whether it be crackers in your cabinet. They're going to extract the moisture from whatever they eat. They don't need a lot of water. So the bait will make them not feel well. There's different baits that do different things, but a lot of the bait are the anticoagulants that when they feed, they're going to want to go lay down just like us. When we don't feel well, we're looking to lay in the bed or on the couch. Same thing with a rodent. And that can help you with your pest control setup plan on how you want to attack these things. Just understand the biology and habits of the rodent, and we put together a good plan for that. The homeowner, that the Joe Schmo who's at the hardware store buying his traps, buying his bait and things. If you don't know this, you're really not doing anything but throwing money away. So just understand sometimes the professional coming out to give the second set of eyes on the home, on the business, is really beneficial.
Okay. So, hey, man, listen, we've been talking about 10 minutes and we don't want to hold people up long. Sometimes less is more. But we want to thank everybody for listening to this podcast. We plan to do this once a week to meet with you and talk about pest control issues and other things, whatever's on your mind. Let us know in the comments, and we look forward. So next week we're going to talk about exclusion, how to keep them out of your home. We're going to probably stick with rodents maybe for a little bit and then switch it up. But we will talk about exclusion next week. So look forward to that. Keith, look forward to working with you, brother.
I'm excited. Thank you.
Thanks for listening. And until next time, we'll see you. This is Vernon again with Vernon and Keith with Harpoon Pest Solutions.